Hello, and welcome. Have you ever wondered how your body powers through a tough workout, or even just gets you through the day? It's all about energy. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of bioenergetics, the science of how your body converts food into fuel. It's like an intricate dance of molecules happening inside you right now. Let's start with the basics. The fundamental law of energy is simple. It can't be created or destroyed, only transformed. Think of your body as a high-tech factory. The food you eat, carbs, fats, and proteins, is the raw material. This factory converts the chemical energy stored in that food into mechanical energy for movement, chemical energy for building new cells, and even energy for transporting substances across cell membranes. It's a non-stop process, and at the heart of it all is a tiny, powerful molecule called ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. ATP is the universal energy currency of your cells. Imagine it as a rechargeable battery. When a phosphate group breaks off, it releases a burst of energy that powers everything from a muscle twitch to a thought. But here's the catch. Your body only stores enough ATP for a few seconds of all-out effort. So, how do we keep going? We need to constantly recharge those batteries, and that's where our metabolic pathways come into play. Our first and fastest energy system is the anaerobic system. Think of it as your emergency power generator. When you sprint or lift something heavy, your body needs energy. Now. It can't wait for oxygen. This is where anaerobic glycolysis kicks in. It rapidly breaks down glucose, a simple sugar, into a substance called pyruvate, generating a quick but small burst of 2 ATP molecules. This process is lightning fast, but not very efficient. A byproduct of this rapid energy production is lactate. Now, lactate has had a bad rap, often blamed for muscle soreness. But that's a myth. In reality, lactate is a valuable fuel source. Your body is incredibly resourceful. It can shuttle lactate to other muscles, your heart, and even your liver to be converted back into glucose or used for energy. This is called the lactate shuttle, a brilliant recycling system. But for sustained activity, like a long run or a bike ride, the anaerobic system just won't cut it. We need the big guns, the aerobic system. This is your main power plant, and it requires oxygen. Aerobic glycolysis is much slower, but way more efficient. Remember that pyruvate from glycolysis? In the presence of oxygen, it doesn't turn into lactate. Instead, it's converted into a molecule called acetyl-CoA. This acetyl-CoA is the golden ticket into the mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells. Inside the mitochondria, it enters a complex series of reactions called the Krebs cycle, also known as the citric acid cycle. Think of the Krebs cycle as a spinning wheel that churns out energy-rich molecules like NADH and FADH2, along with a little more ATP. For every glucose molecule that starts the journey, the Krebs cycle spins twice. But the real magic happens in the final stage, the electron transport chain. This is where the massive energy payoff occurs. The NADH and FADH2 molecules from the Krebs cycle arrive here and drop off their high-energy electrons. As these electrons are passed down a chain of proteins, like a series of tiny waterfalls, they release energy. This energy is used to pump hydrogen ions across a membrane, creating a powerful gradient. This gradient is like water building up behind a dam. The only way for the hydrogen ions to flow back is through a special protein called ATP synthase. As they rush through, they spin a molecular turbine that cranks out ATP molecules by the dozen. This process, called oxidative phosphorylation, is incredibly efficient, generating around 34 ATP molecules from a single molecule of glucose. This is why you can sustain moderate-intensity exercise for long periods. Now, what about fat? Fat is an even more potent energy source. When you're exercising for longer durations at a lower intensity, your body starts to tap into its fat stores. Through a process called beta oxidation, fatty acids are broken down into acetyl-CoA, which then enters the same Krebs cycle and electron transport chain we just discussed. Because fat molecules are so much larger than glucose, they produce significantly more ATP, making them the perfect fuel for endurance activities. Let's connect this to real-world performance. You've probably heard of VO2 Max. This is the maximum amount of oxygen your body can use during intense exercise. It's a key indicator of your aerobic fitness. As you exercise harder, your oxygen demand increases. Eventually, you hit a plateau, your VO2 max, where your aerobic system can't keep up. At this point, your body relies more heavily on the anaerobic system, and lactate begins to accumulate in the blood. The point at which this happens is known as the blood lactate threshold. With training, you can push this threshold higher, allowing you to work at a greater intensity for longer before fatiguing. Have you ever noticed how you're out of breath for a few minutes after you stop exercising? That's not your body just trying to catch its breath. It's called excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, or EPOC. Think of it as an oxygen debt. After your workout, your body needs extra oxygen to restore everything back to its resting state. This includes replenishing your ATP and phosphocreatine stores, clearing out metabolic byproducts, and resynthesizing lactate back into glycogen. The harder you work out, the larger your EPOC, and the more calories you burn even after you've stopped moving. So, how do we measure all this energy being used? We can measure heat production. Every single metabolic reaction in your body releases heat. Scientists use a technique called indirect calorimetry, which measures your oxygen consumption and carbon dioxide production to accurately estimate your energy expenditure. This measurement is called the respiratory quotient, or RQ. It tells us what fuel your body is primarily using. An RQ of 1.0 means you're burning pure carbohydrates, while an RQ around 0.7 indicates you're burning fat. Your total daily energy expenditure, or TDEE, is made up of three main components: your resting metabolic rate, the energy you burn just to stay alive; the thermic effect of food, the energy used to digest what you eat; and of course, the energy you burn through physical activity. Factors like your muscle mass, age, and even the climate can influence these numbers. From a single sprint to a marathon, your body is a master of energy management. It seamlessly switches between fast, anaerobic power and efficient aerobic endurance, all orchestrated by these incredible metabolic pathways. Understanding this process isn't just for scientists. It can help you train smarter, eat better, and unlock your body's true potential. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the engine of our bodies. If you found this helpful and want to learn more, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. Stay curious, and see you next time.